Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous class, we discussed about multi-currency accounting, some of the topics in this chapter. We discussed about translation, conversion. Then after that, we discussed about parent company and subsidiary company. Then we discussed about methods of translation, and we discussed about two methods. One was close rate or current rate method, in which balance sheet items will be translated on the base of the exchange rate, which is on the last day of the company year, that is December 31st. And all income statement items will be translated at the rate which is the average exchange rate of the whole year. Then we discussed about its advantages. Then we discussed about monetary and non-monetary method. In monetary, first we discussed that what is monetary assets and what is monetary asset and what is a non-monetary asset. Monetary asset is that asset whose value is fixed, whose value is not changing. And non-monetary assets are those assets whose value is changing on the basis of demand and supply. So, according to this method, monetary assets will be translated on the basis of the closing rate of exchange. That is the rate of exchange which is on the last day of the company year. And non-monetary assets will be translated on the base of the historic rate, that is the exchange rate which was on the date on which this asset was purchased. Like if you purchased an asset in 2001 January, so what was the exchange rate on that day? We will use that exchange rate for translation. So today we are going to discuss the last method, that is current and non-current method. So first of all, before current and non-current, we'll discuss about what is current asset, what is non-current assets and liabilities. This is the method in which all balance sheet items are divided into two sections. One is called current assets and liabilities and the other is called non-current assets and liabilities. So you know about current assets and non-current assets and liabilities. So current assets and liabilities are translated at the closing rate of exchange. For current assets and liabilities, we will use the current rate of exchange. The closing rate of exchange, the exchange rate which is on December 31st, the end of company year. While non-current assets and liabilities are translated on historic rate, ruling on the day when the asset was purchased or liability aroused. And non-current assets and liabilities, we will use the historic rate, the date on which the asset was purchased or liability was acquired. What was the exchange rate on that last day? We will translate our balance sheet accordingly. Most of the items in a profit and loss accounts are translated at the average rate or weighted average rate. Example from Poma Corporation. Here is an example. So you can see this example yourself. So there are three methods. In the first method, close rate or current rate method, balance sheet items will be translated on the base of the last day of the company year. And for income statement, we will use the average rate of exchange of the whole year. In monetary and non-monetary method, monetary assets and liabilities will be converted on the last day. What was the exchange rate on the last day? and non-monetary assets and liabilities will be translated on the base of the historic rate, on the date on which you purchased these assets. What was the exchange rate on that day? So you will use that for translation. Now the next method, the last method, is the current and non-current method. Current assets and liabilities, it will be translated on the base of the last day, the closing rate of exchange, and non-current assets and liabilities, it will be translated on the base of the historic rate. For income statement, the procedure is same in all these three methods. We will use the average exchange rate of the whole year. So this is the end of this chapter. I told you that one chapter is left, so I'm going to start that chapter today. And chapter name is Foreign Exchange Market. Foreign exchange market. What is foreign exchange market? Foreign exchange market is a market in which one currency is converted to another currency, allows for the exchange of one currency for another. One currency is exchanged for another currency. That market is called foreign exchange market. Exchange rate specifies the rate at which one currency can be exchanged for another. And what is exchange rate? So exchange rate, you people know, $1 is equal to, suppose, 76. So 76 Afghanis will be converted to $1. This is called the exchange rate. So exchange rate specifies the rate at which one currency can be exchanged for another currency. Now something about the history of foreign exchange market. Previously, there were three, historically, people were using, you can say, initially, barter system was used. In that system, goods were exchanged for goods. In money, banking, and finance, you people studied that what were the difficulties of the barter system. Then what happened? There were some goods, and these goods were used as a medium of exchange, like cow, sheeps, and then a lot of other things. Then after that, in 18th century, gold was used as a medium of exchange. Before gold, there was a system, we call it bimetallism. Bimetallism means two currencies. Bi means two, and metallic means metals. Gold and silver, these were used as a medium of exchange. But after that, only gold was used as a medium of exchange from 1876 to 1913. Each currency was convertible into gold at a specified rate. Each and every currency, it was convertible to gold on the base of what? On the base of the amount of gold that was present in that coin. But when World War I began in 1914, the gold standard was suspended. In this system, because exchange rate, it is important when you are importing goods or you are exporting goods. So at that time, countries, they were importing and exporting goods from each other. Now, at the end of the year, if the import of this country is high as compared to B, so B will send gold to A. And the coins used in these countries, the value of exchange rate, it was on the base of the contents of coins, the weight of coin in these coins. Exchange rate depend on the content or the weight of the coins in these two countries. That was gold standard, but this standard was suspended when World War I starts. Then there was another system, they call it Bretton Woods Agreement. In this Bretton Woods Agreement, it was signed at the end of the Second World War in 1944, and it was used all over the world till 1971. Then in 1971 it was suspended, but some changes were made in this system, and then they used it till 1973. In Bretton Woods system, dollar was the main currency. Gold, dollar, and different currencies. German mark, French franc, Japanese yen, and different other currencies of the world. Now, what was the procedure? If you want to convert your currency to gold, first you will convert your currency to dollars, and then dollars will be converted to gold. Means only the US government was capable to convert dollars to gold. Means they will print dollars according to the gold present in their state bank. So in that system, dollar was the dominant currency. But what happened? These countries, they exported goods, a lot of goods, and they collected a lot of dollars. And you know that if the stock of something is increasing with you, its value will go down. Increase in stock, so the value of currency will come down. But it was not the case with dollars. If you have a lot of dollars, the exchange rate between your currency and the other currency, there was just a slight change, not big change. So because of this, these countries, they collected a huge sum of dollars, and then they tell the US president that convert our currency, convert these dollars to gold. But the US president, what was his name at that time, I think, what was that? I forgot. He refused the conversion of dollars to gold, that we don't have that much gold to convert it for the dollars that you are keeping. So after that, this system was suspended. Then in 1971, they tried to continue this method for some time.